Hi everybody, it's Diana with stampingwithdie.com. Welcome to this week's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. Before we get started, I know I was so excited. I'm so excited that all right, let's see. We had to return Kevin back to his foster mom because I have stupid allergies, and I just wanted to come on and say that because I did take the videos down so that other people aren't seeing them, but I still want to be able to see them. Okay, so if you've never been to my channel before, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I'm just going to start quick before the mimeograph. And we all loved Kevin so much. Oh my gosh. So when we brought Kevin home, we all loved him so much. I mean, even though at the beginning, when I wanted a dog, to get a dog again, because it had been over 2 years since we had lost Toby, and the guys were like, you know, we don't need a dog. But anyways, I was stubborn that I wanted a dog. So we found cute little Kevin online. We went and saw him. Jeff loved him as much as me, so we got him the next day. I noticed a little scratchy throat. That's all right. Drink water. Little itchy eyes. Just use some Visine. And we were getting him trained, right? When we first got him, he was chewing like a puppy and everything, but then he got more used to us. Getting him kind of figured out. You know, you get, if you watched him, you get this little look on his face, like, oh, you know, and you know he'd have to go outside. Jeff was having so much fun in the yard and running in the sprinklers and just having the time of his life. But I am allergic to grass, and I didn't know that till a few years ago when I did an allergy test. But I wasn't even thinking about that. I know about, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago or something, I held one of the neighbor's puppies, and I got this huge itchy rash in my arm, and I just associated it with it was because of their dog. It was like a hairy dog. I have pet my neighbor's dog without any issue, you know, so I thought, okay, it's just their dog. Didn't even think about it. But so we finally are getting Kevin realizing loving and is not meaning biting, and he's kissing and whatever. So the other night, last week, he's like kissing and loving on me, and I don't know how much longer it was, and I got this huge like hives all over my neck from when he was kissing me, and I'm like washing. I took medicine, and that's when I realized it's the grass. Like he's bringing in the pollen, and that's what was affecting me. And so I just had to decide that we can't have a dog live in a house, like, and never go outside, because that's what he wants to do. That's what Jeff was having fun, like playing fetch and everything. And I couldn't let us this to be a crying tape. I couldn't let him bond with us any more than he had, because he was constantly right there. I had to make a decision. I talked about it with Jeff, and he agreed. So I called Connie and I said, I'm so sorry. And she's like, that's okay, you know, bring him back. So we loaded up the pickup truck. The back seat of the pickup truck was full of all the stuff we'd got for him. And on the way there, that Dolly Parton song, I'll Always Love You, comes on, and that was it. I don't think I can post this video, but I don't want you all asking, like, where's Kevin, you know. My friend Miranda came and picked up some of her retired stuff, and I cried again. But I just have to keep telling myself, he's not dead. It's not like when we had to put Toby to sleep. He was happy to see Connie. They're probably going to keep him in the family. He probably has already forgotten about us, even though we still remember about him. Even Eric, it was hard to explain to him that it was making me sick. And he was like, well, is he coming back? And we're like, well, no. So anyways. And then I watched a video on the back porch, and I watched a 30-minute video of Jeff playing with this puppy and carrying him around and showing him stuff in the yard. So I could never do that again. So I told Jeff, because I forgot to take everything, and Eric brought over these bigger bones, you know, so when he got bigger with his adult teeth, you know, he would have those, and he brought them back over. And I told Jeff, if I ever say I want another dog, you just show me these bones. Because Jeff was like, this could have been avoided. And I says, I know, I should have listened to Jeff when he said, no, we don't need another dog. But anyways, enough of my blubbering. I know this is not why you come to my channel, to see me cry like a boob. But I just wanted you to know what happened and why the videos are gone. And I just unlisted them, why I took it off of Facebook. And I just want you to know that he is loved so much. And he's loved where he is now. He was so excited. Like, he remembered Connie. His tail was all wagging. And he'll be able to see his sisters, because she adopted his sisters out to her family. And she's like, I think we're just going to keep him in the family. And I really hope he does. They do. And so anyway, I'm going to go clean myself up. And I apologize for this horrible video. And we will get started with today's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. Okay, all better now. And so let's get started to what you actually came here to see, which is this week's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. So close your eyes for a second and adjusted. All right. Good. So the card that I'm going to do is in the main catalog, and it's back here. So don't forget that there is samples and ideas throughout the whole catalog. So this is the Wonderful Thoughts bundle, and I love that, you know, now all the stamp sets and the dies have the same name. It is so much easier to remember what goes with what. And page 41. So not only is there samples like in the catalog where the stamp set is, just let me get to that page. So this is where the stamp set is, right here. And this is one of the new ones that has the greeting, and then it has the dies that cut out. But there's also this really fun, there's a couple hearts in there, there's flowers, and a couple shapes, you know, to go behind the greeting. You can see here this one that looks like a little dresser drawers. These little shapes right here are in that die as well. So it is super, super cute. So don't forget that when the catalog goes to the back to show you what are bundled, there is samples there as well. So this is the card that I'm going to do today. So I have my recipe. Now you can get the recipes on my blog. My blog address is over there. And if you just click on the top, there's a little thing that says current catalogs. If you click on that, it will open up to another page. And then you can get the catalogs there, but you can also get the recipes. And I just, you know, go to the page, you know, pull up the page number on the recipe, and then I just print it out. You don't necessarily have to print it out. I do, just because then I go and grab my stuff, you know, as I'm pulling for the video. So I print it, but you don't have to waste paper if you don't want to. You can just leave it on your computer. All right, so I have my recipe. Now there is one thing that I did change. This calls for the neutrals adhesive backed sequins, and I didn't order those. Excuse me, I don't use the sequins tons of times, and I already had sequins, so I did end up using a different embellishment. All right, so let's get to the card. Now this is the stamp set. So here's the Wonderful Thoughts, and then, well, there's a nice hair, and then there is, this is the die that goes with it. So this is what I mean. It has these really fun shape. So it's like, it's square, but then it's got that rounded edge, so it's super cute. And some hearts. But it cuts out the greetings, so it's super, super fun. So this is the second one that we have that does that. So let's get started. Now I'm also using that beautiful DSP that I cannot get enough out of, and that's the Masterfully Made. So here's the pieces. Now don't forget to stamp your envelope. All right, so I chose Basic White Thick as my card base, and I did decide this time that I would put a little piece on the inside. I don't always on the catalog one. So I will be doing 2 projects today. So if you are just joining me, this is my Mimeograph Monday with a twist. So this is the catalog case version, how I think it was made. Sometimes I do change it a tad, like if I don't have something or whatever, but it usually doesn't affect it much if I do change a little bit of something. All right, so this is just going to go on the inside. I'm going to leave it blank. So if I send it as a thank you card with an order, or I use it later and I need it for something, I can always write a personal note. So this is just a piece of regular basic white, the thinner basic white, and then the card is the thicker. So I usually just use the basic white thick as my card bases. All right, then we have this really pretty paper. This paper is amazing. Like, look at all the texture, right? It looks like, you know, I have ripped and I've made all of this stuff go on, but it is just a piece of DSP, but visually it has so much definition to it. I love this paper. So if you don't have a pack or 2 or 3, you're going to want to grab. I grabbed quite a few of them when we had the Designer Series paper sale, because I just knew I would play with it a lot. All right, so I'm using the green tip glue that I put in that little container, and this will just give me a little bit of wiggle room, because this is going to get glued right on the front of the card, and it's the same size. There we go. So I just want to have a little wiggle room. If I'd used a seal, as soon as it touched that paper, it would be stuck. So then this just gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, so here is that really fun die that I was telling you about, but look at all the texture on it. So you've got some, you know, it cuts it out, but then there's 2 lines of embossing. That's what it's almost like an embossing folder. So this one kind of comes out, this one goes in, but it's really super cute. And basically this is just going to go on the card. It's just going to be on the back side of the flower. So I'm just going to glue that directly to the card, and just visually in the center. Looks pretty good. All right, now I already cut out the little flower, so there's that flower, and then there's that die that I was telling you about. And so they have cut one in orchid and one in lemon lime twist. This was lemon lolly. And then what they did was they just offset. So I'm going to take my little silicone mat. Hold on a second. Let me get that little silicone mat. And we're just going to glue these 2 together, but we're going to offset so you can see that green behind. All right. So I'm just going to take some green tip glue. Now this is just the Tombow Multi. I just stuck it in this little container. Just gives me a little more control over it. And I just picked these up on Amazon. Everybody got one that did my spring social. Speaking of a social, I have my fall social coming up in September. So watch for that registration. That will be starting very, very soon. I have quite a few people on my list already. All right, so see how I'm just offsetting that? And I'm going to wiggle it this way. So I'm going to have it go like this, but then this, it's going to kind of go kind of like that. All right. So then you can see the green, you can see the blue. It just gives it, you know, a little bit of something, something. All right, so let's bring our card back over. And then this is going to go on here. And I'm going to use glue dots for that. And I'm just going to use my pick tool, because this is kind of delicate, so I don't want to put the glue dots on there and be pulling on it. So I'm just going to pick my glue dots up with my pick tool. And then I can put them exactly where I want them on my flower here. The pick tool is your best friend. All right, so that goes there. Okay, and then, so I kept them kind of on the top, not too many in the center, because you are going to be going over top of this little thing here. So it just kind of breaks up, you know, all this pattern. All right, so that goes there. Then here is the congratulations. Now I did the congratulations ahead of time, just because we are doing 2 cards to make the video not to be too long. So we have congratulations. I'm going to put this on with dimensionals, and it's kind of skinny. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cut along the edge here, and I'm going to use these skinny pieces to put this on. So that's a good size. So it's going to go there. So I just want my dimensionals on the edges, because this, it's going to like lay onto here, so it doesn't really need any adhesive there, and it would make it not be even because there's an extra thickness there with that cardstock. All right, so peel those off, and then we'll stick this on here. So I love how it goes over here like that. So see, that's just there, and then this just doesn't need to glue any glue on it. Okay, so this is where they use the sequins, but I'm going to use the iridescent pastel gems, and I'm so glad that we still have those because they are gorgeous. So I'm going to use these. So these come in like I'm sure they're like a real color, but I'm just going to say red, and then kind of like a pool party, and then like a clear. So I'm going to use the clear ones on here because I didn't use red on the card. This is really a light blue, and so I don't really have a light blue in here. So I'm going to use the clear ones because, you know, it goes with everything. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Now they had, unless I counted wrong, they had 6 on the card, and you know me, odd is more pleasing to the eye, so I am only putting 5. But look how cute and how simple that card is. So that's the catalog version. All right, so let's get to my twist. All right, so what I did was, I'm using the idea for that card, but I grabbed a different die and a different stamp set. And I don't know if I've done that for my Mimeograph Monday with a twist, where I've changed the stamp set. I don't think I have. So maybe this will be the first time. All right, so what I did was, but it's going to be the same, it's basically the same card. I just changed it up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to use textured floral. It's still a flower set, and it also has, you know, the textured foil. It also has its own die. I chose Nested Essentials and Stylus Shapes for my greeting, and then that little bit of a shape behind. All right, so let's see here. So these are the pieces. Now I stuck with the same designer series paper because I love that so much. All right, so let's see what I picked. So I still kept the basic white thick cardstock as my card base with a piece for the inside. And then let's just put this little strip down on the bottom. There is some very faint typing, so just make sure that your writing is going the right direction. I don't know if anyone would necessarily notice, but all right, so that's just going to go on the bottom there. This paper, oh, it's just so fun. It's so fun, because look at how pretty and subtle this is, and the back side of that paper is just like, whoa. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. All right, so that's going to go on the inside of the card. Again, I'm leaving that plain. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside, so I can use it myself or send it, and then that way whoever gets it, they can use it for what they need it for. All right, now we have this beautiful DSP. So I'm going to put this in the front. I cut it a little smaller so that you can see the basic white behind it, where the other one was the same size. Now this one also has writing, because this paper here was just trimmed off the bottom. So I just want to make sure that I'm not gluing it upside down. All right, so that's going to go on there. And then what I did was I took some Berry Burst, because that's part of this DSP. Fresh Freesia, again, because that's part of here. Now you don't see much of it on this piece. And then Lemon Lime Twist as well. And these are from that whatchamacallit die, that textured floral die. And I'm going back and forth. Let me know what you think. I was thinking of doing this textured floral bundle as a class in the mail. Let me know if you would be interested or not. Okay, so we have our flowers, but if I just glue them like right direct, it's kind of busy, right? Because you've got all these beautiful colors back here, and they just kind of blend in. So what I did was I chose to cut a piece of the vellum, and now I can't think what this is. The supply list is down below. I just want to say I think it's called Essentials Vellum, and it's just polka dots, cute polka dots. But what that's going to do, it's just going to it's going to make it not be so busy, so that the flowers and the color will have a little bit of a break. You can still see all these colors behind there, but the vellum will just soften it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flowers. Now remember, when you are gluing vellum, you can see the glue through it. So I'm going to glue the stuff to the vellum first. This will help me put my glue in the right spot to glue the vellum to the card. Okay, so I'm gonna also have these stick out, so I'm just pretty much putting the glue to in the center. All right, so that looks good. And then now this one is kind of reminds me of like a cactus, but I did it in the Berry Burst instead. Oh my gosh, I can't think what this is. Eucalyptus, that's what that reminds me of. All right, so that's gonna go there, and then the green one is just gonna go in the front there. So again, I'm just kind of keeping the glue just in the center there, and then that's gonna go in the center. And if you want, you can, you know, pull some of these loose ones around so that it kind of, let me get my scissors. So see how they're in front of that green? So you can, you know, kind of wiggle them around. All right, so once that's glue, I'm gonna let that glue and dry before I start messing with it. So while that's gluing and drying rather, I'm gonna take, now this is from the Stylus Shapes, and I'm going to take Berry Burst. Now the card from the catalog, I stamped that with the orchid. That's what color ink I used for that. Alright, so I want, this is also from the textured floral. It just says with a grateful heart. And let's see how good I have that inked up. Alright, so we're just going to ink that right there. Hopefully I did it straight. Yay! Alright, that's going to go on the front. So move that aside. Alright, so let's bring this over. And that's going to go on here. Now you can put dimensionals, you can, you know, if you want it to stick up a little bit. I'm just going to use my seal. And you can see where this is. So instead I'm going to use my green tip glue. After I said the seal, I've changed my mind. So what I'm going to do is I can see exactly where these flowers are back here. So I can put my green tip glue here. So then you won't be able to see the glue holding the vellum on, because these flowers, these die cut flowers, are going to be hiding all of that glue. Alright, so let's bring this over. And I think that looks pretty straight. So that's why if I use vellum, I usually attach whatever I'm putting to the card to the vellum first, and then it just helps you, you know, adhere your vellum, because you can put all the glue where that piece is. Alright, now this I'm going to put on with dimensionals. So I want a couple dimensionals on the side, and just like the other card, I'm not going to put any dimensionals over here because it's just going to rest on those flowers, and that will be plenty strong enough. Alright, so let's bring this over. Just use my grid sheet to kind of keep that straight. And stick that on there like that. And see, it just lays on there. It's not going to go anywhere. Alright, I'm going to use the same embellishments as I did before. But this time, I'm going to pick these bluish, grayish, you know, kind of ones, because we have some blues going on, you know, some pool party, so it's going to look fine with it this time. Alright, so let's do the same thing. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so here is that. So what do you think? Alright, so hold on, let me show you catalog version. Clean up my mess here. Alright, so hold on a second. So here is the catalog version, and then here is my twist. So really, I didn't change it tons. It totally looks different, but it really is the same idea. It's just the same card, just, you know, cutting the DSP a little bit smaller so you can see, you know, that card around here makes a big difference. It would have done the same thing here if I'd have left that, you know, let's pretend I did, and you would have that, you know, that layer there. You could totally do that, but I did it like the catalog. But so let me know what you think. I like either one of them. I totally do. I love all of these. Now I played around before. This is the one I did ahead of time, and I did do a little mini blending brush. So I don't know if you can see the difference or not. It's just really subtle. But this one, I put a little Fresh Freesia ink on the Fresh Freesia, so it just put a little bit of a shadow here and there on the cardstock. So you might be able to see it here and there. it's just very delicate. So if you do that, just, you know, just be careful. You could do ahead of a time and then die cut it out, but then you wouldn't know where you should be doing the blending. So I just played with it before. I had ink all over my fingers, you can still see, so I just decided for the video that I wouldn't do that, but I did want to point out that I did for you know, for my other card. All right, so we see you later, alligator. And so thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm not sure which number Teach Me Tuesday it is. I'm not sure, but I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays, and I will be doing the goodies and guts for July, so you don't want to miss that. If you have any questions at all, make sure you reach out to me. Otherwise, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.